Last time we witnessed the group's fight against Moro, but at the same time, it seems like there's another villain that's been watching over everything. Mainly he's interested in Mr. Satan's power. So where does that leave us now? We'll be covering all that and more in this finale of What If Mr. Satan Was Actually Strong. No Frieza in the Tournament of Power means there's none of the stuff with him, so none of the Broly stuff, and Granola and the Heaters basically just continue doing whatever they've been doing when Frieza was gone. I guess eventually that would lead us to Superhero, but let's be honest, the Red Ribbon Army is not really going to be accomplishing anything here. And not just because Gohan and Piccolo are both stronger, but the fact that there's two extra people to worry about too, Videl and Mr. Satan. And even if Mr. Satan isn't on Earth at the time, that doesn't matter. Gohan, Piccolo, and Videl are more than enough to stop whatever they have planned. So we basically breeze through those 3 arcs, with 2 not even really happening.
And this arc especially wouldn't happen because Pan. If the Red Ribbon Army even tries to kidnap Pan, it's not really going to end well. Consider who she is. The granddaughter of Mr. Satan, a hybrid Saiyan. Gohan and Videl have noticed that she's been growing strong, to say the least. Unfortunately, just because of the time frame in which she was born, it's not like she's going to be doing anything crazy in these universal battles. But it's definitely worth noting, she probably has the craziest potential in this scenario. Enough to even surpass the 2 great Saiyaman parents she has. Maybe down the line, she'll become a champ even farther beyond what Mr. Satan is. Either way, the Red Ribbon Army is screwed. Which is good because we get to go into the next original thing. As we mentioned last time, Hearts was the one who was interested in Mr. Satan. It's taken some time, but now he finally has the Universe Seed. All he has to do is get some energy through battles, and he'll be able to overthrow the gods with all the power it gives him. It's been a while since the Tournament of Power, and he's been keeping tabs on pretty much any strong mortal in any universe. He's going to work through them and try and get some energy however he can. It's kind of unfortunate that the Seed gets energy through battles, because that means he's going to have to use the mortals to actually get power. But in his eyes, it's all for a greater cause. And he begins traveling through the universes to try and achieve this, starting in Universe 12 and working his way backwards. He gets some energy there and then moves immediately to Universe 11. He can't wait to get to Mr. Satan, but for now, he has to actually induce fights to get some more energy. It really pains him to pit mortals against each other, but at least this way he also gets to see their power before they overthrow the gods together. He's going to start a rebellion, and it's not going to be pretty. It's a worthy sacrifice for him. In Universe 11, he basically sets up fights for the Pride Troopers to get into, just so he can collect energy from them. And at first, this is a great way to get energy because the Pride Troopers are just doing what they normally do, and they don't suspect a thing, at least not just yet. Hearts is basically freeing a bunch of villains that they already locked up before. But soon enough, the Pride Troopers are able to figure out who's behind it, leading them directly to Hearts. So, Hearts has to directly fight them for the first time. And when he's fighting the 3 strongest of them, 2 in particular really catches attention. Obviously Jiren with his strength. He's thinking that maybe he could be a good partner to help overthrow the gods together. But then there's Toppo, who is immortal, but at the same time he's a candidate for God of Destruction, so Hearts doesn't really know how to feel about him. The only reason he knows this is because he gets to see Toppo turn into his God mode firsthand, using those God of Destruction powers against him. He wishes they wouldn't fight against him. He wants to fight with them. Toppo especially shouldn't be fighting for the gods either. He's immortal just like them. Don't throw that away just to get that kind of power. He's already strong as is. He doesn't need to become a God of Destruction for that. Obviously the Pride Troopers aren't just going to join his side like that. No matter what he says, it's not going to really convince them. But he's able to take them on at first pretty easily. Part of the reason he waited so long to do this is because he needed to grow stronger himself as well, alongside getting the Universe Seed, of course. Also, he had to get data on all the people he'd be fighting so he'd know what he'd be up against. He's strong enough to actually take them on here. He made sure of that. At least for this scenario's version of Hearts, he has a pretty easy time fighting the Pride Troopers. Jiren, Toppo, and Dispo are all defeated by his hand, but he leaves them alive. He apologizes. They're just a means to an end right now, but soon enough they'll all be free from the gods. It's not his place to kill a fellow mortal. He moves on to the next universe. And it turns out in each universe that he's visited so far, he's killed the Supreme Kai there to make sure the gods of destruction don't get involved. So he already has killed some of the gods. And while that means there's no god of destruction to get in his way anymore, still, Zeno is in his way. That's his main goal. Exactly why he still needs the Universe Seed, despite this loophole allowing him to kill the gods of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Mr. Satan are presently on Earth, thankfully. And an unexpected face shows up out of nowhere. It's Dispo, that guy from the Tournament of Power, the one who was part of the Pride Troopers. Now, him being here is weird as is, but how did he get here in the first place? Well, first he tells him how he got here. He's improved his speed since the Tournament of Power because he wants to become the fastest mortal, and he actually came here alone without teleportation, but he is worn out. But still, that kind of amazes them that he's that strong and he came here that quickly. By manually traveling across universes no less, they've only seen gods do that before. So whatever reason he came here for must be important, and it is. He warns them about Hearts and what happened there. He actually did want to visit the other universes first, but he wasn't sure which one Hearts is in, so he skipped a few. And for all he knew, this still could be risky because they don't know if Hearts was doing this in order or anything. But he went directly to Universe 7 because he knew that they were the winners of the Tournament of Power and they were pretty strong to begin with. They're probably the best chance at stopping Hearts.
Now, Dispo still doesn't really know his true motives yet, but he at least wants to warn all of them about the incoming threat. And yeah, that is pretty concerning. Someone that came to Universe 11 and single-handedly defeated the 3 strongest Pride Troopers, not to mention the fact that Dispo's already that much stronger after the Tournament of Power. Imagine what that means for Toppo and Jiren as well, and he defeated those 2 at the same time. Clearly this isn't something to be taken lightly. The gods of Universe 7 are told about this too, and word spreads to the other gods in other universes. But Vegeta mentions that Hearts probably would want to come here eventually because of how much power they have. Like, he knows they're going to go through all the universes and actually destroy the gods, but Universe 7 might be important to him, especially because he knows that the mortals here have a lot of power. Which brings up an interesting point, because maybe he has a plan for Universe 7 specifically. It's just a theory, because he obviously doesn't know what Hearts even has planned in the first place. But he knows the plan involves mortals and overthrowing gods, specifically by gaining power through having mortals fight. So the universe with the strongest mortals will probably be one of his biggest targets. Goku has an idea. Bring Jiren and Toppo here. If they can get a big group together, they should be able to stop them pretty easily. Even if the Pride Troopers couldn't before, it would be nice to have them as allies here. The 2 of them stayed back in Universe 11. They could have actually come with Dispo, but they wanted to stay there to make sure everything was safe. But Shin says he'll handle this. He teleports to Universe 11, and they actually agree to go with him too. With Jiren, Toppo, and Dispo now in Universe 7. They should even go around gathering other mortals from other universes. Like, they know some strong people from Universe 6, and there's a lot of others out there too. But before they could even put a list together, Hearts arrives in Universe 7. Well, it still shouldn't be an issue. They have the strongest mortals here, plus they have some of the Pride Troopers to help. Although, even though they didn't get a lot of time to get a group together, it's still good that they got some extra people, plus the fact that they have the info about what's going on. Dispo actually was great as a messenger here. And Shin thanks him for his effort. They'll be sure to revive the rest of the gods. For now, they just need to focus on defeating Hearts. Beerus is actually about to join the fight, but then he's called by Zeno. Actually, all the gods are called together. As much as he wants to fight right now, they can't really go against what Zeno says. The reason Zeno's calling all of them together is to actually keep them in one spot. And Beerus just hopes Zeno's not pissed off right now, knowing a few of the gods have already died. And if he is, Beerus is going to have to face his wrath alongside the other god of destructions there. Great. He'd rather just fight whoever this guy is. And Hearts greets the welcoming party, glad to see all these powerful mortals here. He'll spare them the details because it seems like they know what's going on, especially because he sees some familiar faces from Universe 11 here. The universe seed is almost ready. He just needs to fight a little bit more. Goku and Vegeta are the first ones to jump in, using Blue Limit Breaker. And Hearts is seriously impressed with their power. First of all, they've taken godly powers and made them their own. It's not like what Toppo had either. This is their own unique thing, even though it is using godly ki. And just from fighting these 2, he could tell that they're the strongest opponents he's fought so far. He's loving it. It makes him happy to see mortals that are this powerful. He wishes that they would just join him and help in his conquest, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, unfortunately. And it really does make him wonder, if these 2 are this strong, how strong is Mr. Saiyan? That guy's an inspiration for him. He revolted against Zamasu, and he even rebelled against Zeno. After erasing all the universes, Mr. Satan decided to wish for them to come back, going directly against what Zeno did. And not just that, this guy's a champ for mortals. Now, Mr. Satan's surprised to hear that his influence has spread that far, but that's not the type of influence he wants to have on people. Yeah, he might be a champ for the mortals, but this isn't the kind of thing he stands for. But Hearts tells him it's exactly the kind of stuff that he wants to see. Mr. Satan's the perfect proof to show how strong mortals can grow, the fact that they're better than the gods and they don't need the gods either. Hearts then goes to fight Mr. Satan, who he mainly wanted to fight in the first place. Why is this champ of mortals upholding the status quo? He should be doing something greater than what he's doing. The gods destroying things, doing whatever they want. They should be stopped. The mortals should be calling the shots. And they should get rid of that godly hierarchy, especially Zeno. But Mr. Satan thinks this is a pointless endeavor. First off, you can see that the gods are capable of change. At least Beerus was, because he could tell he's changed Beerus somewhat. Beerus was way different the first time they met. And now he's basically a friend of theirs. The true might of mortals comes from their character, and through that they could actually improve the gods. They can make them more like the mortals. Besides, this isn't something Mr. Satan would want to do anyways, nor anyone else here. Start a war against the gods? Sure, Hearts has some good points, but he's going about it the completely wrong way. He wants to destroy everything and just start anew, but it sounds like he's just going to repeat the cycle, especially with him being a mortal that has all the power in his hands. Wouldn't that just make him a new god or something? It's just going to be the same thing all over again. Jiren butts in too. Hearts is just doing what he claims the gods are also doing too. He just put a new coat of paint on it and acts like it's different. But Hearts says they couldn't be any more wrong. And he'll show them. The universe seed is ready, and he absorbs its power. This is the great power he's obtained, and this is what he'll overthrow Zeno and everybody with. He fights all the fighters here at once. Right now it's Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Videl, Piccolo, Jiren, Toppo, Dispo, and of course Mr. Satan there. If they had more time, they could have gathered some of their other friends from Universe 7, but this'll have to do for now. At least they hope they can contend against this guy. because with this new power he's gained, it seems like it's a little much, especially since he's claiming he could defeat Zeno with it. And he fends them all off. It is a bit of a challenge still, but he can tell he still has a great increase in power. And he's only going to grow from this fight too. And amidst the battle, they ponder what he's even trying to achieve here. Vegeta sees some similarity to Zamasu. It's like an inverse Zamasu, if anything. This guy has some sort of noble motive in mind, but he's destroying everything in his path. He might believe himself to be the good guy, but the way he's going about it, it doesn't seem like it. Especially with the fact that he's going to be the all-powerful one after this ends. That doesn't sound like a good idea. They're not just going to put their trust in the hands of this guy. Some guy they've never heard of before, using mortals to get power for himself, and then claiming that he's going to save the mortals with that power. Maybe his intentions are actually good, but this isn't really a good impression, and it seems like a very far-fetched idea in the first place. And that's even if he can defeat the gods as he is now. The three Pride Troopers assemble and strike a pose with Toppo. Gohan and Videl join in too. They are superheroes after all, and what other opportunity would they get for this? The Pride Troopers and Saiyan Alliance launch into battle. With Gohan and Videl impressed to see how much the Pride Troopers have grown since the Tournament of Power. But even with that, it's still not enough against Hearts. He fights the five of them off at once while Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Mr. Satan think of what to do next. But at least that serves as a good distraction. And also, there is another thing working in their favor here. Apparently he doesn't want to kill the mortals. They can go all out against him, but he's not going to really go all out against them. Piccolo thinks whatever that Universe Seed thing is, if they go after that, that'll be his weak spot. And if they're able to take that and destroy it somehow, they'll be able to win here. Goku says he'll charge in. The other five have Hearts' attention right now, and these three could help too. Not to mention, he has a particular interest in Mr. Satan, so he could work as a good distraction too. Goku just needs to get in close and get one good hit in on a Universe Seed. And he thinks that with all the great power of Blue Limit Breaker, he'll be able to achieve it. Hearts traps all the superheroes in a cube and they break free. But he continues to do it, toying with them almost. He then takes an attack from behind. A blast from Piccolo and Mr. Satan. Then Vegeta rockets in from above, trying to get in close and distract Hearts once more. But he spawns a bunch of cubes in front of Vegeta, who simply breaks through them with the power of Blue Limit Breaker. And Hearts finds it amusing. He loves seeing their power. And Vegeta almost gets close enough to attack him, but Hearts is able to avoid it. But he lost track of one of them. He senses Goku's power near him and quickly he tries to counterattack. But Goku's able to break through it. And before Hearts attacks again, Jiren then grabs onto him, using all of his power to try and hold Hearts still. Of course, it's not really going to do a lot. But Gohan and Videl then fly in, each grabbing one arm, with Dispo and Toppo grabbing a leg each. This still isn't going to be enough to hold Hearts back, but at least for a brief moment, it could hold him. And Goku yells out to Mr. Satan and Piccolo. Piccolo briefly grows in size, throwing Mr. Satan as fast as he can, who picks up even more speed by launching a blast mid-flight. Vegeta and Goku both charge their power. And simultaneously, Goku, Vegeta, and Mr. Satan all hit the Universe Seed, unleashing all of their power on it. And much to their surprise, it actually does work. They had one brief opportunity, and it worked out. With the Universe Seed destroyed, Hearts is destroyed as well. And even though he's lost, he's still glad to see that the mortals have this type of power. It's truly glorious. They can defend themselves at least. Hopefully soon, they'll see the light that he saw. That's all he could hope for now, but at least he dies happily. And the one to defeat him no less, it's the Universal Champ, Mr. Satan. Dying at the hands of a mortal, how fitting for him. He thanks them all for the great battle. And especially Mr. Satan, who he views as a champion for all mortals, someone who might uphold his will eventually. As Hearts vanishes, they're all just left a bit dumbfounded about that, because that guy was kind of weird in his goals and everything. At least they ended up winning, but still, it was a strange experience. And specifically, it leaves Mr. Satan wondering. He doesn't get why threats keep showing up here of all places, not just Universe 7 in general, but Earth specifically, this one planet. He would have never expected this a few years ago. Up until he met this group, he didn't know these types of things were out there. Maybe all these threats come here because of his strength, and the strength of his allies as well. But no matter what, at least once more he was able to defend Earth. And not to mention, uphold his title as the champ. And those two things go hand in hand. In his eyes, being the champ means defending everyone too, and not whatever twisted sense of justice that other guy had. And if more of those threats are going to come his way, he's ready. Everyone here is. Besides, what kind of champ would he be if he didn't fight these fights? That's not him. Whatever other threats come his way in the future, he'll be sure to defeat them. He'll defend Earth and all the mortals around him. Not just on this planet or even in this universe. He'll be a champ for all mortals, just the way Hearts viewed him. And this is where we end off our story. What'd you guys think about this finale and this what if as a whole? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel and it does show me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting the scenario all the way through, and I'll see you all in my next video.